What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. It's your boy, Sir Love, and it's another episode of Ask Sir Love. And on this particular show, you know exactly what I do. I reply to comments. That's what I do. I've done videos. I've made videos for you guys for 4 years, and now I'm replying to comments to really speak to all the questions that I haven't answered in the past, maybe spark new ones. And so today, we're jumping into a question that I have on the screen for you guys right now. It's coming from Style Gaming. Style Gaming asked me a question that I'm pretty sure many people have asked, being that I've done so many videos on music, on management, which is, why don't you manage artists? And I think Archerich Speaks had the perfect response, which is, laugh out loud. When one has managed artists, they realize why people don't do it. Yes, managing artists is a tall order. Okay, I can speak to it so profoundly because of the following reasons. Number one, when I came into the game from a business perspective, I started off as an engineer doing stuff with Nitty and different things of that nature back when Young Jock was hot and this is going down. We were doing all this. I was the guy handing out the t-shirts, flyers, this, that, and the third. Actually, even before that, when I wanted to be an artist, I was out performing in clubs since I was like 12 years old, right? And my father was managing me. And at an early age, my father wanted me to learn how to do business. So I'm in the club, literally 13, 14 years old in the club. And my dad is telling me, hey, you go talk to this person. You go get that person's number. You follow up with this person. And so I learned early on about managing myself. And then I ended up with a group in high school, and I ended up having to manage the group and talk to their parents and set up shows and do all this other type of stuff. And so I didn't even know I was managing, but I was managing the group. But I really got into real management when I started interning and ended up climbing the ladder at this small company called Infrared. Infrared had artists signed to Ush Records over at with Usher's imprint, and then eventually T-Pain's company, Nappy Boy, and then Red Zone and things of that nature. And during that whole process, the core of their business was management. I pretty much became the number two to the owner of the company. I did everything. When he needed to send an email, he tossed me his phone. Back when we had the BlackBerry, he used to toss me the BlackBerry and say, hey, type this message. And I'm sending a message to L.A. Reid, right? Crazy. And I was going back and forth. Like, the people in this man's phone, the people that I was sending emails to and talking to and dealing with and liaison to, crazy. And, it really helped me learn the business. I mean, I learned a large portion of the business through that process, sitting in meetings, being the fly on the wall, being on all the conference calls and not saying shit. Right? And so that's where I really kind of learned management. And after doing all that for so long, I wanted to do it, myself eventually. And I did. And I took an artist in a very short period of time from, obscure, making dope music, but not, really having real headway in their career to, getting paid shows in different states, different countries. We had A&Rs coming out to shows. Our fan base was growing, revamped the music. Opening up for major acts like, Megan Thee Stallion and Wu-Tang Clan and 2 Chainz and who else? Bootsy, Jeezy, all sorts of people, right? Dope. And I learned through that experience to get to the question why, because I have to validate this for people that don't know. But in that process, what I realized is that it's very difficult to bet your whole career on someone else. And I had been doing that over and over and over again. And the unfortunate truth for me, because it's a roll of the dice, is that in all those different situations, it was someone outside of my control that impacted my success. And so in one situation, the artist had a personal breakdown and didn't necessarily... The artist and myself, we didn't have the same vision of where we wanted to go and be successful. Love this artist to this day, so I never say anything bad. We're still family. But at the time, there was just two different visions that weren't 100% aligned, or the alignment changed over time. And when the artist doesn't want to go to that place that we're trying to go to at that time frame, there's nothing you can really do about it, right? Another situation, the artist was just bit off by a bigger entity. What you'll find out in management is that you can bust your butt to get an artist from here all the way to here. And once you get there, the people with the power that have the strings on the other side may decide that they don't want to give anyone else 20%. That's 20% that they could be getting, right? And you can try to cut it up and say, hey, let's talk to the artist, and the artist may be willing to give up 30. You take 15, and this new entity take 15. But the new entity is like, why? When I can have both 15s. And so when you start playing at the next level, you'll be in situations where the entity that you're working with, that you're going to the major with, whether it be a production company or another label situation, they may really try to pull the artist away from you. They can take the artist and put them in certain situations that you may not be able to put them in, and they can use that to entice them and say, hey, your manager can't do this, your manager can't do that. We saw that happen, and seeing that experience. That was crazy. And then there's another experience. I've seen artists, and this didn't happen to me, this happened to my mentor, that last one, in this next situation I'm going to speak to, where you bust your butt and really work for an artist, get the artist there, the artist is ready to get signed, and the artist just really wanted to come out of poverty. The artist didn't want to live a life of struggle anymore. So said artist gets an opportunity where they're around all these successful people for the first time, and they end up just signing a deal with the first person that comes around with the bag, even though that person was an athlete and never worked in the music business. But the athlete thought the artist was attractive, and the artist didn't want to be broke anymore. And then the artist is now, an athlete's baby mama and happy, So real life, in short, real life happens. I can tell you 3 or 4 more stories that happened. And so I think for me, what I began to realize in my journey of dealing with of being involved in the management space is that you want to have more control, you want to have more leverage, either through the relationship, through the vision. You really want to be in sync with the person that you're dealing with. And you want to have more leverage financially from a power perspective, from a positioning perspective. And what I decided to do was, instead of taking my energy after the last project, after going through kind of going hard with so many projects back to back to back and having this outside event impact something that trickles down and affects me, I decided to start managing businesses and managing properties and managing other things. And all of those things started paying out. And so I do plan to go back into artist management. It's my personal passion. That's why I can write the book on it. I've done it multiple times in reference to getting the artist right there to sign the deal, or right before signing the deal. Like it's easy, right, to me. The steps, the process. That's why all you guys can ask me questions, and I know exactly what to do, because I bumped my head on it or I learned it in the process. So why don't I manage artists right now is because I'm kind of enjoying managing other things. I'm managing a stock portfolio. It's nothing big. I just started it. It's cool. I'm managing Airbnbs. I'm managing consulting with IT and music companies. I'm managing managing business owners, and I'm managing a business, another business. And so, I'm just kind of enjoying the space that I'm in. But once I establish the financial foundation that I'm putting together in other areas, I do plan to come back to this space. I love this space. That's why I do this. I do this really because I love it. You guys haven't even seen me try to scale this or really make this huge thing. I just do this because I like helping people, right? And so there's room for everyone to win. But if you are someone that wants to be a manager, I don't say this because I wrote it. I don't say this because I want you to spend money with me. I'm really fine. I say this because you should get it. There's this whole joint that I put together that sums up a lot of the learnings that I had from that. If you come over here to the website, shop, and you come down to the shop, and there's this book right here called How to Be a Music Manager. And there's all this crap in here that comes from all of that experience. What happens? What do you learn? What do you learn when you're typing and talking to major executives every single day, as pretty much the assistant to another manager? What do you learn from that, right? What do you learn when you're sending artists to go, write for P. Diddy? What type of crap do you learn in these situations? You know, what do you learn when you have to negotiate, on behalf of your client, right? When you're working directly with the attorney and you're sending the contracts back and forth, and you review the contract before you talk to your boss and then give him your feedback before he talks to his attorney. What type of crap do you learn? And what am I going to do with it? If I'm not using it now, it's for you guys. So no pressure. This is just what I'm doing right now. But eventually I'm going to come back, and I'll probably let you guys know when that's happening. But until then, I'm going to keep making these videos. So I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little bit about a lot. And I'm always trying to give you guys everything that I got right here on Phase 6. And so anyone that wants to be a manager, please recognize that you need to know what you're getting into, right? There are a lot of ways to avoid the lessons that I've mentioned on this, and I wrote them in that book. But there's, call into the show, 404-442-4792. That don't cost you anything, right? Call into the show. You have to send a text message, and then we schedule times, and then we'll get on there and talk on the show for like 15 minutes, something like that. And maybe I can answer your questions to help you guys out. Other than that, like, subscribe, follow, tell the people about me. Don't keep me your little secret. Let's win together. I'm Sir Love. Beam in. I'm out.